Hey guys, and I want to welcome you all back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. So for this one, we're going to talk about the announcement that Super Saiyan God Vegeta will be getting the next unique equipment. So I hope you guys enjoy and hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Are you guys excited about this? Let me know in the comments down below. So if you're not really sure what that is, I mean, they've stepped away from doing these for LFs and they have been doing them for regular, not really regular characters, but Zenkai characters that are non-LFs that a lot of times are going to have something to do with the current campaign we have going on. For example, this is our first one outside of the Majin Buu campaign. We had that Majin Buu campaign for like a couple of months with the tag Goku and Vegeta, and then also Kid Buu, and we had a few of these in that time period in which that's actually when they introduced them. So I haven't done Gohan's yet, I'll get around to it, but we have Goku and Buu there, and oh yeah, I forgot this Super Saiyan Blue Goku, I haven't done him either. So these have been dropping just kind of like shadow dropping. I'm not really too interested in these personally. How do you guys feel about these? The reason why I'm not so interested in them is because they're not particularly great. Don't get me wrong, they enhance the usability of the characters, but there's two things that are kind of iffy with these. Is first and foremost the unit choice. Like, look at these characters. These are all like year one characters that they've chosen, which isn't bad, but the thing is that all of these characters, with the exception of Gohan, got their Zenkais quite a bit ago. So since they're really old and now they're getting a unique equipment and they're not giving them unique equipments that are anywhere near as good as the LFs typically are, then they're just not able to really do a resurgence. And secondly is like, in the case of characters that they're putting them for, there's another added element of competition. Like, nobody's going to use a Super Saiyan God Vegeta for the most part, but I do think that there is an undertone to Super Saiyan God Vegeta. He fits the current theme of movies and stuff, and that was like, I was going to do a video like predicting which character was going to be, and he was going to be at the top of my list because I felt like it was fairly obvious. Did you think it was obvious it would be him, just for the record? Like, when you look at the list of movie Zenkais, I'm like, I don't really think it'd be anybody but him. And also, when you take a look and take a step back, actually, you take a look at the fact that the next character that'll release here in a couple of weeks, probably in like, it's the 27th, 17 comes out today, so 2 weeks from today, Ultra Vegito Blue should be releasing, which is a God Key character. And this Goku got an equip just out of thin air, just because they could. This isn't even like Goku from the movies. Like, it's technically Resurrection F Goku, but it's from the saga in the anime. It's not the movie. Like, they don't have representation for those movies in this game. So anyway, like, they just kind of did that just because. It was really weird. But it's because they're trying to build a backbone. So anyway, let's kind of like dissect what these equips are even doing in the first place. Now, here's a look at Gohan. Getting double attack increase and inflicted damage is really, really good. This is like, so don't get me wrong. Like I said, these equips are not anything special, but it's not really that they're not anything special, because they're still the like top 1% of equips in the game, probably half of a percent. Like, they're better than 99.5% of the game, you know, in terms of equips, because this type of stat increase up to a maximum of 40, very few equips can even get here. So don't get me wrong, it's just in terms of usability of the character. Adding in health and then more attack, no, this is defense, so up to 15% to the pure defensive stats here, so no base statistics. That's really good, really, really good. Just requires a full Majin Buu Saga team, which, I mean, you can go out of your way to do that. Kid Buu's good enough to carry. The tag leaves to be desired. Gohan is whatever, but yeah, I mean, he's the newest like Zenkai on this list, but even he's had his Zenkai for quite a while now. It's been probably like about a year now. Anyway, as far as I recall. So here's the last slot, and this one is the one that's going to be the one that you struggle with. So plus 5% damage inflicted when this character uses a special art, activates once. So that's actually pretty solid. He gets a lot of greens. His whole play style is around using greens, so that fits in pretty well. It's just cheap damage to get. And then also, when you go ahead and take a look down, it's 10% inflicted when he uses it. So obviously, you don't want to settle for the 5. You want to at least get that extra bonus. And then if you can, you want to get the bottom one. Applies falling effects itself when this character uses a special art. Plus 15 once, can't be canceled. So yeah, it's 5, 10, or 15. So you obviously want this one. And then this is the same with all the unique equips for like LFs or specific characters. So we come down here a little further. He's getting 10% cut, draws a card, and restores Vanish. So like, this, I do commend them for producing effects like this and continuing the trend of adding in basically another passive effect onto these equips. I remember the first time we saw this. I remember when we first saw this, I don't remember who exactly it was, but the first LF, was it Vegito? No, it was not Vegito. It was Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, kind of. they kind of enhanced what he was already doing, but they've since then started just adding on effects. Like Bardock's is pretty crazy. Cell, where he gets more regeneration of his gauge, is pretty crazy too, or generation of the gauge, just stuff like that. So I do commend them for this. It's technically on that same wavelength, but I guess more so in hindsight, it's more so that the base character isn't great, which doesn't bode well for Vegeta. And so that's kind of what we're working with. So I also thought that the first couple of characters, Boo and Super Saiyan 3 Goku's, they didn't cover what they needed at all. And then in the case of Goku, his was really wonky. Like, getting these buffs after 40 counts is like, okay, you know? I just don't really love that. I don't really love that with his playstyle, but up to 50% on some stats, you can't really be mad at that. Boo, I thought they just completely missed the ball. He didn't need more offense. He needed more defense. And this Goku, I believe they added in some buffs that can be canceled, right? Yeah, so he has buffs that can be canceled, which is an immediate negative. Like, it doesn't matter how good this stuff is. If it can just be chopped off, so what, right? And then it's also time gated, so plus 20% damage once 15 counts. It's not too bad. It's not like 45. But this also fits right into his playstyle. He has buffs like this already based in his kit, but everything he does, because he's so damn old, is cancelable. So you can have a character, a lot of characters do this, you can have a character take everything off the character. So Goku, like, that is not it. So let's go ahead and go back to Super Saiyan God Vegeta. And the main gripe with that character, that, for the record, he's obviously really old, obviously, and naturally, and then also just with the Zenkai. His Zenkai came out when Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta LF got released, so it's been a couple of years now. Like, what, 2.5 years, something like that? Anyway, so this guy's main problem was that he didn't have draw speed. And then also, setting aside the weird thing that they try to do with him, nowadays they still try to do weird stuff. As recently as Magenta releasing, where they're doing all that time-gated stuff, where it's like, oh, if you do this and you're at this time period, you're getting these effects, but if you're not, don't worry, you're going to get these instead, and this is going to happen, you're going to get health back. Oh, but you're going to do more damage if you're below 80, all the stuff, right? So, like, they still design characters weird, and they still try to do that thing where they make characters anime accurate, quote-unquote, where they give them limitations or whatever. Like Super Saiyan 3 characters typically fizzle out after a certain number of counts, right? Just things like that. But this guy was particularly designed weird with his health ratio stuff right here. So they did mostly fix it, if I recall correctly, on his Zenkai. They changed it a good bit. So applies the falling affects itself if own health ratio is higher than the enemy's when his character enters. I don't really think that's much different. I think he just gets the strike here. But again, being dependent on having more health than the enemy is pretty touch and go. What they did do, I believe, was add in that regen right there, which is nice because he needed more health. So in order to meet his desired playstyle, he does need to maintain a high health ratio. So he needs more cut, first and foremost, because I believe he only has 40 on this cross-arm guard, which is a pretty unique special cover change. Anywho, I believe he only has that. Maybe they added like another 10% or something down here. Yeah, another 10%, literally. They hit the little phase with Zenkais where they started giving them this passive. They just started copy and pasting this passive, basically. Like, what even is this supposed to do? What is this? 20% damage and 10%. What is this doing? This is nothing. Like, this is almost a waste of your time. They hit a little phase where they just started giving this to every character because it's like, oh, they're not getting enough naturally. We need to give them a little more. So cumulatively, that 20% matters, right? But still, like, I don't like it. And then also the way these numbers even get calculated is a whole separate thing in terms of the actual math of the game. So moving on, I digress. The main issue with him is that he didn't really have a lot of draw speed. So what they did do, though, post-Zenkai, was they tried to give him the draw speed because that was his initial issue. But we see here, right here, restores health by 10%, activates twice, so that's good. They try to lean heavily into the playstyle. And plus 30% damage, and then also increases draw speed by 1 level. Can't be stacked because he would have went crazy with the stack, right? Applies the following effects itself after the enemy's attack is over. So this is really good because it would spawn on that knockback on the cover change. It spawns on tap shots or whatever. And also if you don't actually get the knockback on the cover change because they dropped comboed or what have you. Anyway, so that's good. Also, he still has the +3 sub count debuff on his cover change. Very, very, very uncommon. They take those off of characters nowadays. I venture to think that if he got a Zenkai today, they would take that off. Anyway, so yeah, that was his main issue. They did give him draw speed, and they gave him a way to get a strike card. And then his green card over here, I believe, gave him extra cut. Yeah, 20% cut and 20% damage. So looking at the character now, what would I say he needs to get? What would you guys say? I'll ask that first. he needs to get from his equip. I just showed you, mind you, an example of Gohan, and where they tried to kind of lean into Gohan, where he's getting that green card, he gets just a flat buff. That's cool. They gave him some other stuff like a vanish gauge and stuff like that. That's pretty solid. They could run the gambit of multiple effects and give Vegeta more. I'm not really sure. I think he needs more cut. Like I said, the 40 and then the 10 separate. Which, by the way, if he's not doing a cover change, he has 10 cut. Yeah, if he's not if he's not doing a cover change, he has 10 cut. Yeah, that's not great. So he's out, but he'll get that type of stuff with the stat increases, kind of, where they're going to give him that 40 to 50% on those numbers. I don't know what spread they'll give him, whether it's double attack or double defense or all of them. I don't know what spread they'll give him, but he'll get obviously increased defensive and offensive capability by just getting more stats put in there. So I do think that the draw speed is fine. I don't love it being restricted there in terms of when the enemy's attack is over, but I can make do with 15 counts. But since they gave him draw speed, and since he draws a strike, since he has the key recovery up, the main glaring weakness in this guy's kit is the same main glaring weakness that all of the, and by the way, he does have cut here, but this is worthless because it just, the tap punch takes it off. Anyway, the main glaring weakness that's in this guy's kit, that's in every other old school melee character's kit, is that he needs a way to nullify a cover change. It's that simple. He can't do, you're not getting a combo with him without nullifying cover change. You're just not. I mean, you could every now and again. You get my point. You're just not very often. So the question is, do I think they will give that to him? I think it's possible. I don't think that, here's the deal. I don't think that no matter what they give him, he's going to be good. He's not going to slide into being one of the best characters available. That's the harsh reality of the character. I mean, let's look at a lesser known, less utilized team, Vegeta Clan. You know what's going to happen here? You know what's going to happen here? Is he's just not going to be better than like Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Zenkai on like God Key or Vegeta Clan. And there's other characters to consider for some of those other teams. He's not better than the tag character here. So I think with that being said, because he's not going to be better than these other characters, I think you could be a little more liberal with what you give him. You can give him more strong buffs because it won't matter. It won't make him better than other characters here. I could argue that he's not going to be better than Tapion. He's not going to be better than, he may be better than Gogeta. Maybe. I'm not even sure he'd be better than Vegito Blue. I'm not. I would personally not like him over the Super Saiyan Goku on the top row because I really like that guy's playstyle. That's just a personal thing. He's obviously not better than the Gammas. So, like, I don't really know what's happening here with this guy. Like, I don't think it really matters a ton what you do with him because I don't think he'll ever really be relevant in terms of a usable character again. And if we look at God Key, he may have his best shot, but again, he's hamstrung. Oh yeah, there's an Ultra here too, who, albeit isn't great, but he's definitely going to be better than that guy is. Kaioken Goku may even be better. Like, it's just, okay, I've made my point. So, Vegeta, I think, needs draw speed, more damage, more defense, to summarize, and I think he will get those things, but I would like to see them maybe get more creative, think more outside of the box, like I'm not really doing right here. Maybe you guys left some thought outside of the box types of ideas that you guys can think of, and let me know in the comments. But it's going to be another one just like the others that I don't really push to do, because I don't really care, if I'm being honest, and I don't think most of you guys really care. And so I'll leave on this. LF equips. I don't recall who the last one was. Who was it? Let me know. Was it Cell? Is it Jiren? I feel like it might have been Jiren. It's probably one of those two. It's obviously possible that I'm forgetting it. You know, we'll just, you know what? I can figure it out right now, actually. Watch this. This kid could cheat here. Who was it? I'm pretty sure that I got it at the time it came out. Maybe I got things out of order. They started doing all these Sokka-based ones too. God damn it, who was it? I don't know. Okay, I tried to cheat and I'm not having much success. By the look of it, it's Gohan, but I know that's not right. It can't be right. Is it Gohan? It might be Gohan. So the point is, they haven't done one in a while. And I don't think they're gone permanently. I don't think they're going to not do them again. I do, however, think that those are on the back burner. because of two reasons. One, they started producing these other ones to try to, and I don't want to completely write off the Vegeta style equips that like the new one we're going to get later today. Presumably, I don't want to write those off, even though like I spent the whole video basically trashing the character, trashing the concept, kinda. I don't have a problem with them doing them, and I don't have a problem with them doing them for secondary character options or for people that don't have your premium options. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I don't really have a problem with that. So that's cool. Make as many characters better as you want. I don't mind that. Like Eddie, I don't care if they sat and said, "Oh, we're gonna do a balance chain for 50 characters." That would be great. I'm not gonna complain about a single thing. I don't care. Every time a new character gets an equip, I'm cool with that. That's perfectly fine. I don't like the resources, but that's fine. That's a whole different thing. But anyway, I do think they'll come back to them. I think they're on the back burner for these equips for these characters, and I also think they're on the back burner for new content and characters. If you notice what they did for this Legends anniversary, they went insane with characters. They've dropped like 8 characters, and we're not even done. Like, that's not something they've done for years. Seriously, it's not. I mean, if you go back and look at like last year, it was barren. Last year, part 1 was 2 Sparkings and 2 EXs, which is literally half what we got for part 1 this year. Well, not part 1 only, but you get my point. It's just different. So I think that they're doing things a little different. So those are on the back burner, but I do expect them to come back. Who do you think will get the next one? I actually thought it might have been UI Goku, but since he got a Zenkai, he's pushed now as far as like not getting it next. It might be. You know who it'll be? It'll either be a God Key or a Fusion Warrior character. Okay, so they may just mess around and give it to Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. All right, guys, hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.